And welcome back. So before we move on, I have my usual posse who are hailing us up or saying hello via Facebook. And of course, no stranger. This comes as no surprise. I think everybody is probably going to say, people are probably home saying, yes, I know exactly who she's going to say is viewing the program right now. Her uncle in Brooklyn. Good morning, Uncle Clarence. I see you. I see you. Good morning to you. Also, special good morning to Lorraine Williams. How are you, ma'am? And Teresa Morris. Good morning, Teresa. And then there's Paulita Joseph. Paulita is actually viewing from Toronto. Hey, good morning to you. And she wants me to say a special good morning to the folks of Guelph. I take it, Paulita, you are from Guelph. So special good morning to all the viewers online right now. So let's move on. We're going to move on to quite an interesting feature here this morning. And this one, we're going to be talking about a new foundation on island. It's the Grenada Sports and Wellbeing Foundation. And this one essentially is for children and young adults in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique from all different backgrounds to have physical educational, and mental development by creating pathways through, you guessed it, sports and well-being. And to tell us more about this exciting venture, I have with me in studio this morning the founder, Mr. Trevor McIntosh, and also a director. He's joined by one of his directors, Mr. Richard Ramdani. How are you doing, gentlemen? Welcome back.
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to say also congratulations on 10 years
Oh, thank you, sir.
of the show.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
that's
you.
the
Thank you,
milestone.
Flo, and all the great team that I work along with for the last 10 years.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And congratulations to you.
Thank you.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
And this, I think, is, I love the concept behind it, your mission statement. I think this
thank
is
you.
so needed.
Yeah.
So let's dive into it and
Yes.
dissect it and share all the information with our viewers. Firstly, why did you want to start the foundation?
Well, when I left the GFA, whilst I was also there, I should say, that I realized that there was a lot of things that were missing from sports and well-being in general on the island and on our sister islands. So I set about with friends forming this foundation when I left. But before that, I was offered a few jobs around the Caribbean, and my good friends like Mr. Ramdani next to me and a few others said that you can't leave. There's still work to be done here. And how would you feel if you've gone to somewhere else and developed sports and well-being on other islands? Where would Grenada be? So I had a long thought about it, and we all set about forming this foundation to help the young people gain pathways through sports and well-being.
Yeah. Good going, Richard.
Well, I got to do something right.
Hey, come on. I'm sure you did much more. But it's so important. And that just takes me to my little intro thing where I was speaking about how important support is. Support and letting someone know that, hey, you're on the right path, go for it, let's get it done.
Absolutely. I was agreeing with you. Wholeheartedly while you were saying that. And I think that's definitely something that we need to work at and do more. Not just parents, which I think is kind of the obvious ones. Your parents always want to support their children. I think maybe we're not always in a position to do so because of life, but I think we need to try and make that effort. But the community needs to get more involved, and it really does make a huge difference to that child's psyche, to their comfort level in terms of moving forward in the particular area of sport or whatever it is that they're doing. So yes, I think it's very important we encourage that.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about the objectives of the foundation.
The objectives are, for us as the foundation, is to create pathways, as we said, for young children. Because on Grenada, there's a lot of talented children here, both here on the main island and in Carriacou and Petite Martinique, that don't really get a chance to really do something positively. So our main objectives are to gain pathways for young people to understand what sports is about, and to even understand that it's not just about sports, but it's also about getting an education. And also that when you're training, there's another educational part of it that you need to understand, and that is on the well-being side. Too many times I walk around Grenada and also Carriacou, and I see young children training with the coaches. But majority of the time of the training sessions is mostly focused on training and not nutrition, where I feel that in order for you to become a top level sportsman, you need to understand more about nutrition and what you're actually putting in your body. So that plays about 80% and not 20 of what your training program should be of, you know, because after living in Australia, where they focus very, very heavily at the Institute of Sports in Australia about nutrition. And that is what we need to now start focusing on to become top athletes and top sportswomen and men around the islands. And I feel that we are not getting that. There's too many times I see people training and there's not even something for the kids to eat after they finish training, or anything like, oh, what did you have for breakfast this morning? You know, no one asks the question. You know, and these are things that we need to be asking some of these young children who are coming from disadvantaged areas, because they are the ones that actually show a lot of talent. You know, so we need to now start encouraging these young kids. When they come to your training session, ask the question about, did you get something to eat? Because even when I went to Intercall, I saw there was a lot of children passing out when they got to the finish line. You know, people said, oh, it's because they were overtrained, or it's because they participated in too many exercises. But that wasn't the case. It's all down to nutrition and how you look after yourself as a sports person. You know, and we have to start doing these things if our sportswomen and sportsmen are to get to that level.
I know you haven't officially launched the foundation as yet, but if you can, and if you're at liberty to say, tell me about some of the folks who are currently, apart from Richard, who are supporting you in this venture, sir. Partners, affiliates.
There's Dawn Dakota, who is a barrister here on the island, and she also has a practice in London. There's Sheldon Alexander. There's Glenn James. There's my sister, Sherman McIntosh, and a few others. There's Dawn's sister, who lives in Petit Martinique. She's also on the board. And there's my cousin in London, Cashane David. And the patron is my dear beloved auntie, Esther Henry Fleury, is the patron of the foundation. And she has been an inspiration, especially on the well-being side, because of her being the job that she does here. And which we'll find it is pretty vital, because I'm just a football coach. But I still know about nutrition and all the other parts that play with it. But when it comes to the well-being side of, you know, the mental and the child abuse, right now,
and can we touch on that as well, Mr. McIntosh?
Yes, we're looking, because no matter where you go, there's child abuse in sports and child abuse in domestic affairs. You know, so we're looking to focus quite a lot heavily on these issues that are amongst us, because we need to address it, because it's happening out there. You know, and a lot of people just want to sweep these things under the carpet, but it is facing us in our daily lives, and these are the things that we've got to address. You know, so we'll be putting on seminars and giving educational programs on these type of things.
Excellent. How can being part of your foundation benefit the youth through education? Any plans?
We'll be putting on educational programs too, putting on seminars. So just to coach them in the way, like, you know, I did an exercise with a young lady. She came in to see us. She went to Slovenia for 6 weeks. And Judy McIntosh. Fantastic job she did. And whilst over there, she was having trouble with her interviews. You know, you ask her a question and she just said good. You know, so even things like that, because there's a lot of sportswomen here that can't conduct interviews in a proper way. So all things like that, we need to educate our athletes and sportsmen. So when you do an interview, you need to actually know certain things and the way you say things on TV or on radio. So we'll be putting on educational programs for things like that.
Needed.
Because we're needed.
Fully support that.
Yeah. And on that note also, Judy's been invited back to Slovenia for another 6 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
So any businesses out there and that will want to come and support the Grenada Sports and Wellbeing Foundation in order for her to get back out there, because they believe, the team that she goes to, that she will actually sign professional forms. And she will actually be, I think, the first woman in Grenada to sign professional forms. Because they believe that she's that good.
How old is Judy again?
She's just turned 16?
Yeah, I think she's just turned 16.
16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's many more.
I was just about to
There's
say
many
that.
more
It's
boys,
many,
young
many
boys and young girls out there that can follow that path. It's because what I've cleverly done is create a partnership with this club, because they've got a senior men's club. It's an men's team that actually plays in the top division of the Slovenian league. You know, so by creating pathways like these, and to also get an education and create pathways to universities in America, is what we're looking to do.
Excellent. I'm going to sidetrack just a tad bit and tap into Richard's little mine right now.
Yeah.
Not your little mine. Did I say a little mine? I didn't mean it like
I know
that.
what you meant.
I
Don't
didn't
worry.
mean it like that, but because I know you as a dad, you know, one of your daughters is currently out. She's doing her thing as well.
Yes.
How is that going?
That's going very well. And I think it really just builds on a lot of what Trevor has said that's lacking in Grenada, the reason for us pursuing that route. Now, I have to, I recognize that, we were able to do that because of circumstances, being very, fortunate to be in a position to do that and having family that is supporting us in the city that we decided to go to, which is Dallas. And the reason we chose that was because Dallas and North Texas in particular really is a very concentrated area of soccer training. There's an amazing amount of just activity going on. I mean, she gets to play games every week. She trains 3 to 4 times a week, and she actually just had an evaluation with her coach on Monday night, and he sent me a text because I'm obviously not there right now, and he said he's extremely happy with the development, and he expects her to have a fantastic year coming up. Wow. So it just in the 3 to 4 months she's been there training with this team, which is a FC Dallas development team. She's improved, leaps and bounds, and the areas of her game which were probably lacking. I mean, there's just been immense improvement because you're playing week in, week out, training week in, week out. The quality of player that you're surrounded by, it just raises your game. Now, not every child may have that opportunity, but like Trevor has done with the Slovenian team, I hope that there can be a relationship that develops where there would be opportunities for kids, both on the boys and girls side, to have opportunities to play with these teams. And I think it just makes that much of a difference in taking that next step. So we're hoping that she continues to progress in that area. And I definitely, but ultimately we hope that the foundation can be that platform for kids to take that next step. Obviously, we were able to do it on our own, but hopefully other parents won't have to, because I can remember where I was a year ago. It's like, where do you start?
Yeah.
And it was only because of certain relationships and certain connections that we were able to make it happen. But with a clear pathways that the foundation is trying to establish, I think that becomes easier and becomes less of a mystery for parents and for kids who want to get out there.
Very true. Do you currently? Sorry, Mr. McIntosh.
On another note,
Go ahead.
we not only focus on able-bodied children. I went to to the National Stadium to see what the Jason Roberts Foundation put on with the society here for disabled children. It was absolutely a fantastic day to see these young children participating in sports. So I spoke to Otis, who is the CEO of Jason's Foundation, and asked him and said, did you manage to get any children from Carriacou? And he said we weren't able to reach out that far. So I put the suggestion to him that for next year, through the Sports and Wellbeing Foundation, we'll help identify these children in Carriacou to come down to participate in Jason Roberts Foundation and also the Disabled Association here, so that they can participate in what's going on. And even I spoke to Jason because I think he's doing a fantastic job on the island.
He is.
You know, and people don't really understand what goes on behind his foundation, but he's doing a great job. And to see that he's now getting these young men ready for this Homeless World Cup competition that's coming on, and to see that they actually finished third last year, you know, it's a great achievement.
It is.
So I said to him also, what we will do, we'll also look to identify young boys and women up in Carriacou to see if they actually can contribute to coming down and so these guys can go through the trial process for next year's Homeless World Cup.
What is in the pipeline? Do you have any events coming up before we wrap up?
Yes, we're going to kick off in Carriacou on the 10th of July with a summer program for young boys and girls, starting from 6 to 15. And we've got some coaches coming in to help to assist us with these programs. It will not only be football, it will be tennis as well.
Oh, nice.
And then after that, we're going to launch a five-a-side league for the youngsters up there. And my sister, every year, she does a beach day for the young kids. But that won't be later on till in October. So they're looking forward for all these things for when we actually got to plan a launch day in Grenada and in Carriacou. But we've also got a forum in Carriacou next week, Wednesday. Myself and Richard will be going up there to discuss the mission, the vision, and the objectives of the foundation.
Wonderful, wonderful. How can folks connect with you? I know you do have an official website, which we just shared a couple pages from it just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
I know it's www.grenadasportswellbeing.org.
Yes.
But any other?
Well, when they tap
I know
into
Facebook as well.
Yeah, Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on probably all of the
All the social media.
Yeah, all the social media.
Great.
You know, and I'm quite excited about it all
You ought to
because up to last week was the first time I had to join Facebook.
Hey!
You know, but I found it very difficult to be on Facebook. So at Richard's office, there's some young people there that they run the show
There you
for
go.
the social media.
There you go. You do this and they'll handle Facebook.
That's right. That's right.
In closing, gentlemen, anything from either of you? Richard, anything from you?
No, just, think Trevor's ideas, I think we all support them and we want to see them be successful. So just ask the public to support and support us as much as we can and help the kids of Grenada to have a brighter future.
Indeed.
Because what myself and the Jason Roberts Foundation are doing is creating pathways for children. And from a young age of 6 to 15, later on, those children can become the future of sports for Grenada and coming back. No matter where they go, they can be coming back to represent their country. And that's the main objective. Sometimes we feel that if we don't make it as a sportsman, we've failed. But what we've got to realize, by going to university, you're getting an education. That's another pathway for you. And then when you do return, you may not be a sportsman, but you can go into administration, which is lacking a great deal. And there's FIFA needs administration. CONCACAF needs administration. Everybody needs administration. We can't always be footballers and
Very true.
athletes,
Very
and
true.
that's what we're looking to do, create
Good
pathways in those areas also.
Good point. Good point. Well, it's good to see you both, and it's great to be able to share this wonderful news with our viewers. Folks, don't forget, if you need to find out more about the Grenada Sports and Wellbeing, Grenada Sport and Wellbeing Foundation, they do have an official website. There you go. It's on the screen right now. Connect with them today. And don't forget, they do have a Facebook page as well. Read up the information that's available online to you, and do feel free to connect with them today. Thank you so much, and congratulations again. All the best. I'm rooting for your girl. I'm rooting for your girl.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, folks, we got a commercial break. More chit chat right after this.